must say they're looking absolutely stunning here. Oh, beautiful.
So my mum's side of the family is Jewish, so bagels were always a big thing in our house growing up, and they still are today. But my mind was truly blown when I went to New York and ate the proper deli-style bagels you get over there. They're huge. And while the bagels you get in the supermarket here are fine, they do a job, they are nothing like the real deal that you get in New York. Can we try and recreate those, do you think?
I think it's worth a go. It's such an incredibly simple thing when you get going. Have you ever been to the bagel bakery in Brick Lane?
Yeah, it's great, yeah.
That feels to me like the East End Jewish tradition, and it's very different to the New York thing. And the New York thing's very different to the California sort of style bagel as well, where I think they have them more fluffy and fresh.
Of those that you mentioned, which is your favourite, would you say? Are you a New York bagel guy? Do you like the West Coast or the East End?
I love them all in their different ways. I've had some beautiful ones in New York. I used to work in a deli place in San Francisco, and they used to do a sort of proper bagel platter with all the bits and the fixings, and I used to love that. I think like every other person who spent his teenage years in London, I used to spend a lot of time at the Brick Lane Bagel Bakery at about 4 in the morning. 500 grams of flour, 7 grams of salt, 7 grams of dry yeast, and then I'm going to put in a squirt of cheap runny honey.
Any of you fancy Manuka stuff or something like this?
Oh God no, don't put anything fancy in. You're purely using it as a sweetener, and it's only middle class guilt that's stopping me chucking in a handful of white sugar. 320 grams of water. Are you going to use a dough hook, or are you going to be manly and do it by hand?
Gonna get my fingers in. That's the way you taught me. That's the way I've been doing it ever since.
You poor sap, I'm putting it under a dough hook. You do it until it feels smooth, and then we're going to rest it between 1 and 3 hours. Wait till it doubles in size. First of all, flour your tabletop and turn out your dough. Lift it out. Probably start looking a bit like a focaccia.
Spreading it out like a bit of a pancake.
Don't do it by pushing down in the middle. Do it by lifting up the side. Divide the dough in half, quarters. Stretch each quarter out a little bit to make it easier to cut it in half again. But just being gentle. Shape them into balls.
One thing I wanted to ask you about was bagel toppings. Because when I went to New York, I tried for the first time what they call an everything bagel, which, as the name suggests, has pretty much everything in it. I think it's onions, sesame seeds, poppy seeds, might even be something else.
I don't know how the onion works.
Would they put raw onion into it? I don't know.
I suppose you could put finely chopped raw onion over the top. There's 2 ways of shaping a bagel. One of them is to take your dough, to roll it into a sausage, and then wrap it around into a circle and stick it to itself, okay? So the other way to shape them up is to take a ball, jam your thumb through the middle, and then pull it outwards.
I think I like this method actually. It's a bit neater, isn't it?
It might leave a prettier surface. Did your mum do a lot of like proper Jewish cooking when you were growing up?
Yeah, I mean a lot of which of course I couldn't eat. Chicken soup and whatnot.
Oh my God, that's just some kind of level of deprivation to have a proper Jewish mum who actually cooked for you and you choose to not eat her soup. Oh man, you are so going to hell.
The Jewish penicillin, I know. I turned veggie really, really young as well. I was like 6 or something. My mum pulled no punches at all. I said, what happens to the piglets? They're so cute. She said, well, Daniel, tomorrow they're slaughtered and we eat them in our bacon sandwiches. And that was it. I was done with meat forever.
I totally respect that. Although still, I blame you for the chicken soup thing. That's insane.
And I just know how delicious it is. But yeah, I grew up eating like latkes, potato latkes, which are just an amazing thing.
It's a really good vegetarian option. If we make these well enough, maybe we can send one to your mum, see what she thinks.
She's going to be watching this video carefully, I think.
No pressure then.
No, exactly, yeah. As if you get any pressure from a Jewish mum. If they're a bit rough and ready and rustic looking, that's fine, isn't it?
Hey, we've only got to please your mum.
My bagels, it's safe to say, aren't looking exactly uniform, but they have risen quite nicely.
I've got the water lightly boiling.
Yep.
2 really big squirts of honey into the water.
And this is what gives it the sweetness.
It also helps to cause the caramelization on the surface that gives you that lovely sort of brown, bronzed finish on the baked bagel in the end. Teaspoonful of bicarb.
And what is the bicarb in the water going to do?
So that helps the outside to form a sort of tougher, chewier coat, which you don't want in bread, but you really do want in a bagel. And we'll do about 30 seconds on one side, then flip them over, and about 30 seconds on the other side.
When they're done, back onto the floured bacon tray.
Or into the topping on one side. I must say they're looking absolutely stunning here. They've got a real springy, rubbery consistency to them.
To try and recreate the everything bagel.
Before it goes in the oven, just grate a bit of onion on it and see what happens.
Oh God, it's getting in my eyes.
We're going to cook these for 20 minutes.
Right then. I think I might have slightly overdone it with the poppy seeds, or my poppy seeds. This is the one I'm most excited about. I wonder whether it's worked. This is my everything
Your everything bagel.
Onions cooked and it's sweet.
Perfect. Okay, that's what we hoped. So you just grated that on the surface, did you?
Yeah, just on the top, along with the toppings, yeah.
I'll try that next time, because the other thing about grating onion is you create a lot of onion juice, which is why you were tearing up, and that would also flavour the top. Big smear of cream cheese on each one.
The inside looks good.
It's an amazing texture. It's much softer than the ones I'm used to. They look fantastic.
I've only got half a pot of cream cheese, and I should probably save some for the kids, but I'm not sure I want to.
Serve it with a slice of lemon, some capers.
I've got some gherkins here, Israeli-style pickles.
For me, it's the lemon juice and pepper. What have you done?
I just cut open an orange instead of a lemon.
I think I've ever heard of anybody being fruit dyslexic. Bloody hell. The texture's fantastic. To me, that's much more New York than East End. Oh, it's really nice. Beautiful.
It's got that chewiness that you want from a bagel. And the onion on the top has really worked quite well.
I'll try that next time.
You know, lockdown is nearing its end, and I think like a lot of people, I went into it and decided to cook a bit more and try out a few different things. And the one thing I'm going to take away from it is the baking. I've got the bug for it, and I want to thank you for that.
I don't really sort of teach cooking that much, and it's been great. And some of these things have been things I haven't cooked for ages. It's been lovely to do them again. And sometimes the results are ramshackle, but it's just been such a laugh doing it and reminding yourself. It's been good fun. Thank you.
Thank you. That's really good.
Oh, beautiful.